Well, in a bid to secure a ceasefire to end the Israel-Hezbollah conflict, the U.S. Envoy Amos Hochstein met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Tel Aviv. The U.S. Envoy also met with Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz in Tel Aviv on Thursday. Israel says its aim is to secure the return home of tens of thousands of people evacuated from its north due to rocket attacks by Hezbollah. Earlier, the U.S. envoy met with Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabiha Berri in Beirut on Wednesday. Berri had led mediation efforts on behalf of Hezbollah. Hochstein had said on Tuesday that an end to the war was within our grasp. And for more, we have Jessica Taneja joining us. Well, Jessica, with the U.S. diplomacy ongoing effort to end the conflict, as lately a U.S. envoy also met with Lebanese Speaker, can we see some light there at the end of the tunnel?
Well, it's difficult to say because currently the negotiations are on, and the U.S. envoy Amos Hochstein was in Beirut and also speaking with the Israeli side. What we're given to understand at this point is that after those talks and the negotiations that were done, it was made clear that the demands were difficult to meet with at this point to arrive at a decision. Remember, Amos Hochstein has been doing the task for Biden for the last 1 year to bring a complete halt of the hostilities we see currently in West Asia with the Israeli army, as you and I speak, Lepakshi, are currently striking, the parts of the city of Dahiya, where you have a huge concentration of Hezbollah fighters. Remember, most of them were targeted in air raids and strikes from the Israelis in the last 1 month, from pager attacks to walkie-talkie attacks. We've seen it all in the region. And not just that, the Israeli military operations also continue in West Bank. There are reports coming from Gaza every day. And in fact, evacuation orders have been issued in many parts of the Dahiya area where I was earlier talking about, where the strikes continue. So it's difficult to arrive at a point where you could see a potential peace deal, because you see both sides and what their demands are for the Israelis. They would arrive at a certain conclusion, or let's say, a particular deal where they are allowed powers in a sense where there are any violations or any attack from the side of Hezbollah, then the Israeli army would be allowed to retaliate in return. But for the Hezbollah side, the United Nations Security Council resolution 1701 that had ended the war in 2006, they want a restoration of that. And if that were the case, then you'd see along the blue line, which is the buffer zone, where the thousands of Israeli troops are stationed. So are the Hezbollah fighters, where the current war is going on, about 20 miles off the Israel border on the Litani River. So that particular border remains contentious, where the Israeli citizens have been displaced. Around 60,000 of them were asked to evacuate. And for the Israeli government, that is the priority, to bring their citizens back to that border. So until and unless both sides agree on some form of mechanism here, it's certainly difficult to ascertain as to how this peace deal would see fruition in the future.
All right. So on one hand, as the peace efforts continue, on the other, ICC announced arrest warrants for Netanyahu. He denounced them as anti-Semitic, Netanyahu, and US also rejected it. What can you say about the arising sentiments all over?
Well, yes, there is, a strong outcry among countries who are not currently, acceptable with the fact that the way Israeli military operations have been conducted in the region, possibly also because it has not only altered geopolitics, but also geoeconomics to an extent where trade has been affected, not only in the Red Sea because of the retaliation efforts from Iran and its proxies in the Red Sea. There have been more piracy efforts, and of course, shipments have been delayed. So commercial shipping also does get affected, where you, of course, have to deploy more, security personnel and more ships for reconnaissance and security purposes. So that does increase the burden on many countries overall. But given this arrest warrant, the United States have made its position absolutely clear that it will stand with Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister. while the world still awaits as to how this pans out. But the war still is pretty much on in the West Asia region with no immediate end in sight, and hostilities continue to grow.
All right, Jessica, thank you so much for all those details.